good afternoon, everybody. And today we have Adam Kayce with us, the president of the Home Design Remodeling Show. Thank you, Adam, for joining us today on our podcast number 7. And Edgar Velasquez.
Thank you for having me here. It's great to see you guys.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. So tell us a little about yourself, Kayce. I'm sorry, Adam.
Well, everyone's always called me Kayce growing up, but
I'll
give you the abbreviated version, I guess. But originally from Boston, Massachusetts, I went to college up in Maine, a small school called Bates College. Moved down here. Originally was in medical venture capital, so was in that for a little bit, but I got into the home show world about 12 years ago. Been selling and working with the Home Design Remodeling Show for a number of years, and just been focused on that. And obviously, I have a beautiful wife and 2 great kids. I have a 3.5-year-old and a 2-year-old, so they definitely keep me busy. And at any moment I possibly can, they're my focus. But between work and life, I mean, everything is exciting and onto a lot of new things coming up as we speak.
That's amazing.
I promise it gets better.
Yeah, right.
When, like the 2 and 3-year-olds age, once you like 3 and 4, I'm talking from experience.
Yeah.
I have a 3 and a 4, 5 and a 6-year-old.
Okay.
So
yeah, it does get easier. Like as far as my daughter is 3.5, and like just the things that she says, I feel like I'm talking to an adult sometimes. Yeah. But it's a lot of fun.
My daughter's almost 5, so I think we all
we can
understand.
All relate.
Yeah, we can all relate to that.
That's great.
All right. So speaking of life and, how just things change, all this with the social distancing, how it's changed, all of our lives and our businesses and the way we do everything. Let's talk a little bit about, how that's all either affected or benefited us, all of our businesses with all these new guidelines and rules. So I know the show it happens, like 3 times a year?
Yeah. So
typically,
it's pretty much quarterly. This year we were supposed to have 3 shows, which obviously, as you guys know, 2 of them have been postponed to next year. We have 1 more possible show this year, which is still yet to be determined, all based on local officials and just working really hand in hand with them to be able to make the best decisions as far as safety for exhibitors, for attendees, for our own staff. So,
okay. And we were talking a little bit right before the podcast about how this has made us all take new initiatives in business and change the way we do things and kind of just force us to maybe do things we should have done before something like this happened. I know that we came up with virtual inspections. We were the only PAs in Florida. I don't know if we still are, but the first ones definitely to do those virtual inspections and a lot of other initiatives. So what are you guys doing to reach your audience during this time?
Yeah. And it's one of those things. It's like, when you're in business and you're thinking of all the great ideas and things that you can possibly do, it's really easy to put things off and really procrastinate. It's human nature. Yeah. But when something like this happens, it kind of forces you to take action because, as far as a lot of businesses out there, if they sit back and they just wait for things to get better and to go by, then you're already 10 steps behind. Yep. So it really allowed us to take initiative, move forward. So we've been working on a lot of different things. The first thing that we really, when we had to close our office in the middle of March and really start working from home, we kind of took a step back and realize what our relevance is in the local market. We've been the most trusted source for home design and home improvement for over 40 years. That's a long time. Yep. For better or worse, we have a jingle that is stuck in most of the market's head. If you hear our jingle, it's the home show.
Can you give us a sample, Adam? I've never heard the jingle.
I can't believe that. I can't say I'm a great singer, but the Home Design Remodeling Show, it's the one.
Okay, you know what? I have now. Okay,
so
I've heard it.
It's the jingle. It's our brand. That takes a lot. So when we kind of took a step back, we realized that our relevance was producing shows. If we can't produce shows, what's our relevance and what are we providing the market? So with the 40 years of branding and trusted expertise and really bringing businesses like yourselves and other industry professionals to the forefront, we decided to take the first steps. And a lot of that is content because our exhibitors and the professionals that exhibit in our show, they have a wealth of information that the market needs to understand. And it's not just selling people. It's providing information so that way homeowners, industry professionals, really, it doesn't matter if you own a home, rent a home, or you're a professional in the market. You need to know what products are out there, what services are out there, what should you be looking for, So you need that information, and getting it from the experts, there's no better way, especially related to South Florida, because South Florida is truly a different market than most other markets across the country. And, whether that has to do with permitting a project or, wind mitigation, or, I mean, there's so many different aspects. So that's really been our focus initially. And then, we're now expanding into additional platforms in the sense of redeveloping and redesigning our website to be a year-round platform for homeowners to truly rely on us to be able to be that source of information, and also be able to connect with businesses. We are that first step for home improvement, and that's what we're trying to expand on today.
And we've seen during quarantine, a lot of people have taken on a lot of home renovations, home projects that have been home. So this is all something that they, could be looking for, for information, even if they're home.
Absolutely. And the thing is, like, we've all been in our homes. We've been staring at the walls. I mean, it's easy to procrastinate in any form of our life, but when there's been projects that maybe you've put off, or you wanted to redo your kitchen, or build that pool, or just fix your landscape, or paint the walls. I mean, if you look at it, and everything that we look at in the market today, all the home improvement businesses, they're doing great because people have never spent more time in their home before. And people are actually looking at home living and home lifestyle in a different light, and they're valuing it more because, if they can't be outside of their home, they need to truly enjoy their home when they're at home.
Right. Yeah. And that's something we promoted to early on, was people, because they were spending time at home and reorganizing closets and things like that, and cupboards, and checking for leaks and things that they didn't even notice, so they didn't have time to look for before.
That's a great point. So, and in regards to you guys and what you do, a lot of people don't even know what to look for. So providing that information, just because there's a water stain doesn't mean that it's something in the past. There could be an underlying issue that people need to know what signs to look for, and by you guys doing that, I mean, it's couldn't be any more valuable.
Absolutely. Man, that's why we talk about experts, and we're the experts.
Exactly.
And that's why they need us.
Right.
How big of a team are you guys?
So I wouldn't say we're a large team. I mean, we're about 7 people internally, but we're hardworking, and our mission is to bring business to the forefront. So that's what we're working on. We have a marketing team, a sales team, office staff. So as far as what we're doing internally is just making sure that businesses in the local market are getting that exposure and offering the information, because we're an outlet. We're a platform for South Florida.
That's impressive, because I've been to the home show, and you would think that to organize something so big, it would take a lot more people. I thought you were going to say, 30, 40 of us.
Yeah, it's a large
the
production.
difference is, when the shows happen, we have 20, 30 people on site putting the show together. As far as our shows, it takes about a year of preparation for each of our shows to go, into production mode, because, there's a lot of moving parts, when it comes to all of the media and media buys, and, creating content and booth sales, and bringing companies into the event, and just kind of facilitating all the moving parts. There's a lot of work that goes into it, and a lot of time. But as far as we're just trying to translate that into other forms, so that way, that all of that effort and all of that work is not going unnoticed, but rather, just working with our clients and making sure that, South Florida homeowners aren't deprived.
Yeah, of course.
Exactly. And you said that a way that you guys are managing now with COVID is you're bringing experts on social media lives and having discussions with them. How is that going?
It's been incredible. I mean, the feedback has been amazing. That was kind of the easiest and the first step to kind of get in front of the marketplace, because, developing a website, redesigning, redeveloping things like that, it takes time, but as far as really bringing businesses to the forefront and making these interviews and showcasing, really highlighting businesses as the experts, it's all at our fingertips. All of our clients, they have a wealth of information, but they truly are the ones that should be educating the market. I know a lot about home improvement, and there's hundreds of businesses that work with us and exhibit in our shows. But making sure that their information is brought to the marketplace is our number one priority right now. Because when somebody's at home, it doesn't matter if they have a problem or they need to fix a roof or impact windows and doors, or, they want to remodel their kitchen, the first steps are the most important. What type of company or what type of product or what type of design should they be looking for? There's so much out there, and home improvement is probably one of the most overwhelming aspects of owning a home, because making sure that you find the right professional, but also what's out there so you can make the best decisions. It's a lot, and also it's your most personal space. So that's really what we're trying to bring to homeowners and even renters. Because a lot of furnishings and decor, and there's a lot of great ideas out there, and really how to get that designer touch. Is something that we've been focusing on.
And I think in the way that you guys are doing it is not so much that you're trying to showcase a product or promote a company. It's in the interest of providing value to your viewers,
exactly,
and educating the customers. And I think our goals align when it comes to that, because that's something that we do here internally as well. As we don't want to promote, if you have a stain, call us. If pipe breaks, call us. It's more like, let's educate you about your coverages. Let's show you where your policy can be improved. That's more of our approach, and it's more general rather than targeted.
Absolutely. And I couldn't agree with you more. And you guys do a great job, because it's easy to put a campaign out there and say how great you are, and, call us there, and, this is our brand. But when knowledge and information stands behind your brand, to me, that means more than anything. And part of our mission, in my belief in marketing moving forward, is personalizing business. Brands are great. That's the evolution of business. But the people behind a brand is truly what's most important, because those are the people that you have a connection with. Those are the people that you're building that relationship with, where who's working for you. You want to know that whatever it is for the home, you want to know who they are, and that they're truly working in your best interest versus just being another sale. And that's why we're trying to take, the pitch out of marketing.
Yeah.
We're trying to really just provide information and be the backbone for South Florida, and help and also protect homeowners.
Yeah, that's true. I know at the show there's a lot of local companies, but it's also national retailers. Do you have any feedback on what are they doing during this time as well to reach their clients, to reach their audience?
Absolutely. So, when it comes to today, innovation is everything. Today's, or I should say, business 3 months ago to today to moving forward, nothing will look the same. It's a matter of creating these new avenues and really connecting with the market, because just because you're the biggest doesn't mean that you're the best. Just because you're the smallest doesn't mean that you're not the fastest or the most efficient. The biggest thing is making sure that, and for a lot of these big brands, they're changing their business models. A lot of them are reducing the amount of square footage as far as stores. They're going directly to you, just the same way that you are, just the same way that we are. Just, there is so many forms of media at our fingertips. And, when it comes to big brands or small brands, it's not about size anymore. It really comes down to the information that a business is able to provide a consumer, or even, the industry as well, because industry professionals, they need to be able to make sure they have the best sources. So that way they're truly working for, it's not just for example, a good example is, if you're an interior designer, if you're just pushing one product because they have a better percentage plan, you're not truly working for the client. So today we're trying to highlight these design professionals where, also for us to be a wealth of information for them to discover these new products. So, to answer your question, big or small, I haven't really focused on what larger companies are doing versus smaller companies. Because if you look at the news or you listen to, the stock market or anything, all you hear is closures and how things are down and then things are up. It's easy to be kind of blindsided as far as what the market truly is doing, but really what people are doing internally to make sure their brands are at the forefront in their information.
Yeah, that's good. And like I said, part of educating the clients is knowing then when they come to a company, then they can see if that company has, what their intentions are, if they're really there to help, what if they're just trying the marketing strategy. And that's what we try to do, like Edgar said, is educate, the consumer, in this case for us, the policy holders and homeowners in South Florida.
And you'll see a lot of these larger businesses, they're actually following more of the smaller business model, because that's really what's working right now. You have to connect with people. for South Florida in particular, we're that platform for large or small, and that's what we're trying to really show our expertise in.
I'm curious, do you see the home show? Do you think it's possible to have it 100% online and not have a physical home show?
So,
or what do you see for the?
So when you look at business in general, the one thing that COVID-19 has done for business and for the expo industry is that it's further proven the fact that expos is the foundation of every business. Whether it's trade shows, whether it's public shows, whatever it is, there's a lot of value to shows. When we were going through the whole process, we took a step back and really looked at what does our show provide the attendee? It's direct communication, it's discovery,
that human connection, building that relationship, and it's hard to build that virtually.
Exactly, and the one thing, when we're looking at online versus in the show, the one thing we can never replace is human connection. At the end of the day, especially in the home improvement and design industry, you want to know who's in your house, and you don't, that's a very valuable aspect. But when it comes to shows, I don't think there's ever going to be a time where shows won't exist, because simply there's nothing better than discovering products and services and really businesses than in a show, because at a show, and if you just relied online, you don't know what you're looking for. Some of your best finds are the ones that you just stumble across. If you're only looking for what you're searching, then you're never going to be able to find what you truly need for your business. And even for us, internally, these times have forced us to also look at other ways to be more efficient, to deliver a better experience at the shows and outside of the shows, and just be consistent. So in regards to the industry, I don't see it ever going away. I only think it will get bigger and better, because small businesses to large businesses are now valuing that human interaction a lot more. And it's a lot easier to get that by being a part of a show than just relying on a showroom where you hope people visit you. Yeah. And the show is, there's entertainment value. There's so much that goes into an event that people can get, where they enjoy themselves, they discover products, they discover services, they meet people, they create human.
And compare as well, right?
Comparing is everything.
Different products of the same. I'm assuming if they're somebody's buying cabinets, there could be like 2 or 3 cabinetry companies there. Is that how it usually works?
You'll get 5 or 6 companies at a time. And same thing for you guys. In your business, you would probably rather be in an area with other competing businesses, because it's going to allow you to showcase who you are better than any other way. It's allowing people to be, first of all, when people attend the show, they know that they're going to be businesses that are in business because they're investing in being there. So there's already that, the
expectancy.
The guard is kind of down. They know that that businesses have invested to be there. So they know that they're in business. There's a lot of factors that go into what makes a home show successful, an event successful in general. But it allows businesses to showcase and highlight truly what makes them special.
Exactly. Even though for us, we don't really have too much competition. We're different playing fields. So, I don't know how would anybody would pick another public adjusting firm versus us, but
all I can say is keep doing what you're doing, because you guys have really created something special. And the information, I follow you guys. I listen to everything that you've done. What you're doing is amazing for the industry, but really for homeowners, it's allowing them to know what they should be looking for, and giving them information.
Yeah, and truly, we focus on what we're doing and showcasing like what we're doing for homeowners versus comparing ourselves to competitors or putting anybody down. It's just showcasing what we do, and it's worked for us.
That's what you have to. Absolutely, no, it's great.
And I think our basis is being genuine. And that right there just gives us a great advantage over everybody else, because everybody else is thinking, how do I make more money?
Right.
And we're thinking, how can we be better so that we can better service our people and improve our team and the people within our team?
100%.
So that's, I'm sure other businesses that are in our industry think similar, but I can't say that it's the majority of them. So,
well, all I can say in regards to that is, we have a similar wavelength in the sense of what we're looking at, because business, the motivator is obviously revenue. I mean, that's a big part of business, and that's what keeps people in business. But when all of this happened, it's actually it made us, but really businesses, value partnerships a lot more, because the value of business is also helping other businesses. And that's what creates value internally. And also, to relate it more so to you guys, helping homeowners is only going to create more value for your business, because that's only going to increase word of mouth. And the fact that as far as how well you guys do and how you truly work for the client is invaluable. And there's nothing that can be said or be done other than just actions is that proves what you guys do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And that's interesting, because I know Edgar has mentioned in the past having like a collaboration with like other adjusters and kind of getting together, where versus other adjusters, they probably don't. They see us as competitors, or they see each other, so they don't want to come together. But I know you've come up with that idea before of like, we're stronger together. Just get together and
we
help everybody out. Yeah,
this monster, it's
100%. I couldn't agree more. For every industry, I mean, you have to embrace the competition. Is only something for like a chalkboard to be able to have tallies. But at the end of the day, if you guys collaborate for every industry, there's no such thing as competition. It's just a matter of providing the information that you guys have.
Yeah. I agree 100%.
Yeah, that's true.
You must have played sports.
I have at all.
Really?
Holy crap. Like, I'm the opposite of sports.
Really? Because for me, like I played sports all the way through college, and everything is team. And, as far as who you're playing or who you're playing a lot, you're only as good as the person next to you when it comes to a team. But who you're playing against is what makes you better.
Exactly.
So,
what did you play?
I actually played football and baseball through college.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Both?
Yeah.
Holy crap. That's very demanding from what I hear.
It
So.
is. It was nonstop. I wouldn't trade it for the world. But, as far as the lessons that I learned from, as far as I started playing football when I was 6 years old, and I played all the way through college. I was the captain of my college team and everything. But, in my eyes, the lessons that you can learn from playing sports and being just in a team environment, to me, has really brought me to where I am and what I do today. So it's just acknowledging that there's no one person that's the best at everything. It's a matter of knowing how to pick the right people to be on your team, because everyone is better than the next person at something. But if you have one person at each position that is the best at their position, there's no way that you can't succeed in business and in life and everything.
That's great.
I agree with that 100%, even though I didn't play sports, but I share the vision.
100%.
We can call him the team captain of this team, even though it doesn't play any sports.
Exactly.
So let's go back a little bit to the live. A couple of weeks ago, you invited us on your live on your Instagram page to talk about, I believe it was a hurricane preparedness and how to protect the homes and get ready for hurricane season. So I wanted to kind of go back a little bit on that. Whoever didn't get to see the live, they can go back and watch it, or they can, we can touch on that here on the podcast. So we just want to share some more of those great, tips for hurricane preparedness as far as, hurricane, policy, relates, and home remodeling. Because I know you wanted to touch base. It was on what home improvement projects would help prepare home. And I know we talked about the obvious, impact windows and doors and holding, strapping down like your roof and those things. But if you can give us some more feedback or on like what other great tips can we provide policyholders?
Not to interject, but the one thing that made me even take a step back is that when you think of hurricane preparedness, you think about the obvious: your roof, windows and doors, shutters, cleaning out your gutters, all that
supplies
type of stuff.
and
but
gas
what people don't realize is the only thing that truly protects you is insurance. And I didn't even think about that, and I've been doing this for a long time. And I thought that was an incredible point that you should definitely elaborate on, because I mean, for me, that opened my eyes, and also just making sure you have the right contacts.
Yeah. I mean, insurance, as you guys know, gives you peace of mind. Even though let's say your home is unfortunately destroyed by the storm, if you have insurance, at least you have the peace of mind that you'll get it back. So, but nobody really thinks of that before something happens. It's always the afterthought of the occurrence. So that's why, one of the essentials for hurricane preparedness, and honestly, across the board, at any point throughout the year, don't wait until hurricane season. But now that we're in hurricane season, one of the best things that you could do to prepare is having your insurance policy reviewed. Making sure that you have the right coverages, that your deductible is as low as it could possibly be, that you don't have, that there aren't any damages that are excluded that you don't know about. that can be very costly. For example, screen enclosures. Many companies exclude coverage for screen enclosures, and people don't know that. They feel because it's an attachment to the house, it's covered under coverage A or dwelling coverage, and that's not the case. In many cases nowadays, that coverage has to be added onto the policy, and it's even limited. So that's just an example of the many things that can be missed or that can be excluded in the event of a hurricane if you don't know what coverages you have. So again, Adam.
Well, one thing that it was funny after our live, my uncle actually called me and he said, you know what? I never even thought to check. As soon as you were done with your live, I went and looked to make sure that I had coverage, if I'm out of my house, because, you were talking about, if you have to stay somewhere else or, things like that. I mean, it was funny. That was like the most immediate reaction. He was like, I literally pulled out my policy and to make sure, and I called my insurance provider to make sure that it was covered.
Oh, great. If we can reach just one person,
yeah,
then that makes it all worth it. But if, obviously we want to have a further reach, but that's great. I'm glad we were able to help your uncle out.
And I'm glad you brought that up because see, your uncle took it upon himself to review the policy and to call his agent. But your uncle, is he an insurance professional?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the agent sells policies.
Right.
And yes, they have an idea of what coverages are involved, but they don't know the in-depth language or true coverage when it comes to a claim of their policy, of a client's policy. So that's why we're offering that service of, telling you exactly what your policy has and doesn't have. And it's did I say it was free? Right. I did say
I think we've
free.
yeah.
So please have
Absolutely.
your uncle and even yourself
test
us out, and maybe you can then later on give some insight to your viewers if we're able to come up with coverages and things that you may not have.
Well, after this, I'm going to be sending you my policy because I am interested as far as what I am covered for and what I'm not covered for because people look at insurance as just, obviously you have to have it, but there's a lot of language in there. You don't know how to read it unless you're a professional.
Exactly.
Yeah. And having insurance, doesn't mean you're insured, if that makes any sense. It doesn't always mean you are insured.
That you're properly insured.
Insured or fully insured for
so-
everything. Yeah.
Yeah. To the point that I was trying to make earlier, I've had you call your agent and they'll tell you before something happens, you all ask, is this covered? And they'll say, yeah, you have water damage coverage as covered. But then after something happens, and I've had this happen to our clients, where they'll call their agent first, and the agent will say it's not covered after something happened.
Right.
So that's not fair. That they're finding out that the consumer is finding out after an occurrence whether or not they have coverage for that occurrence. And
or you have coverage until a certain amount,
Right.
and then your damages exceed that amount, and that's it. Like that's all you're getting is up to that limit. So they may tell you yes, you're insured. And they are correct, but then what you don't know, the sub question to that is how much am I insured for? For that specific category.
Well, you guys are truly keeping the industry honest. As far as what you're doing. I mean, it's
we're
incredible
trying
service. Yeah,
we're trying, and not only in the sense of we're not encouraging people to make claims. We just want them to be aware of what they have, and I think in turn that would not discourage, but people will know when to make a claim and when to not. Right. So. It doesn't necessarily mean that us informing the public will result in more claims being filed. It's going to be a better balance,
right?
100%.
So,
yeah, and we offer as a free service, but we don't benefit at all from them changing their policy because we're not their agents. We don't sell them the policy. So them moving up their coverage is moving it down. It does not directly benefit us at all.
It all comes back to providing information and being that resource. So
exactly. Yeah. So, and that's what we're aiming to do is educate, the consumers, educate the policyholders so that they don't find out, once something happens that they're not covered or not covered enough for whatever that, and not just a hurricane, like you said, it could be for any kind of damage. Hurricane is not the only thing that can happen to your home. There's 1,000 different things that can happen. So we just make sure that you're covered for anything pretty much.
Absolutely.
One last piece of self advertisement here that I'll add is that when we do provide these free policy reviews, we don't keep anybody's information or make it a point to follow up with them. No, we're just providing that information. If in the future something happens and you want to call, Juanito's Public Adjusting, that's fine with us as long as you're taken care of. So I don't want people to think, oh, what's the downside to doing this free service? No, it's 100% free, and there's no obligation of any sort for anything else. So just want to make sure that everybody's clear on that.
Yeah. And different from your other vendors, I don't know how many maybe service vendors you have at the show, but like we don't offer a product. And when we go to the home shows, I see people, they're showcasing, all of their products, and we're just there, to provide information, to become a familiar name, so that people can trust us, because we don't sell anything. So we can't convince anybody to buy anything or to file a claim, because if nothing happens, you don't need us.
Right.
So we just want to make sure you know who we are, you trust us, so that when you do need us, we're here. So we don't really sell anything.
Well, that's the biggest thing. When it comes to shows in particular, it says a lot when somebody has a physical presence. Anybody can have an office. Anybody can be in business, relatively speaking. But to truly have put forward an effort to have a physical presence, but more so than just physical, but consistency behind it, says a lot about a business. I can't tell you how many companies, I have companies in the show that some of my first clients are still clients of the show that exhibit in every single one of our shows. Not because they're a close friend of mine or they, business is business, but it says a lot about what they achieve at the show. But more so than anything, people come back looking for you. Yep. Because if they know that they met you at a show and they saw you, even if it's 5 years ago, they're going to assume that you're still there. And that's, what really I take pride in really showcasing these businesses where there's a consistency. And it really gives the homeowners and gives the public a better feeling about a company when they know that they can find them somewhere.
Yeah, and we're excited to be at the show. We were ready to go. It was like maybe 2 weeks before when it got canceled. So we were really excited, to be there. So we're looking forward to coming back to the show soon.
Companies like you guys are what makes the show a success, because it's all a matter of the people behind it. For us, we don't really matter. It's the companies that are exhibiting there. And, by having clients like you guys is really what makes it a success.
Well, you guys do matter, because without you, we wouldn't have the show. So.
Very true. Very true. Yeah. But, obviously making sure that you guys are at the forefront. I appreciate your partnership and your relationships and everything. And, we will be back to producing shows, hopefully sooner than later. But we're just making all the right steps right now to just keep the market informed and providing that information to make sure that we're really continuously building on being that community of professionals.
You said something that sparked a thought, and that's that when somebody goes to a show and they meet a company or they see a product, whatever it may be, even though they don't make a purchase right then and there, because they went to the show, that makes it a memorable experience for them. So they'll think, oh, when that product or that service becomes necessary, you'll be that link to them. Oh, I remember those people that I saw at the home show 2 years ago. Let me do the search and find them. So that's a good point.
Absolutely. And that's what makes the show so fun and exciting for homeowners to attend, because, when you look at the show, there's thousands of products, there's hundreds of businesses. It is absolutely impossible for somebody to be looking for every single one of those. But at some point in homeownership, every single one of those businesses are relevant. So it's a matter of staying consistent, being in front of them, educating them so they know what to look for. You might be coming to the show because you're looking for new artwork, and then all of a sudden you see this new closet system. You're not quite ready to improve your closet or, remodel your closets, but you're always thinking about that because that company had the opportunity to make that impression on you, and they're never going to forget it. So making sure that you're always there, because the first day, the last day of anyone's business is when they stop prospecting. Prospecting is most important. And if somebody is always in front of the market, they're always going to have business coming in through the door. So it's just all I can say as far as whether it's shows, whether it's digital, whether it's social, never stop. It's a campaign, and it's not it's a marathon. It's not a race. Consistency says more than anything.
Yeah, that's
great
great.
Point.
Yeah.
Great point that you're bringing up. Adam, I want to ask you if you've ever had any claims in your home.
I actually have not. I have not had claims. I, knock on wood. If I can find wood here, I hope I don't. But I have not.
Okay. So you're probably one of those clients that has something and doesn't know they do.
Yes.
Okay, so good. So that takes away the other follow-up questions. Now, do you want to do the rapid fire?
Well, my question is, so if I had a claim, what is the follow-up? Because
if you had a claim, who would you call?
Oh,
first of all,
on our claims. I feel like that we're about to go into like Ghostbusters. Who are you going to call?
Oh man, I hope that doesn't get you in trouble with the competitors.
No, I mean, to be fair, obviously everyone has an expertise, and it's just a matter of showing that to everybody, and it's not a matter of one's better than another, but it's a matter of who makes you comfortable.
Right.
Exactly.
And there's enough business for everybody.
100%. South Florida is a big place.
Yeah.
So we have a couple questions here, rapid fire, that we wanted to finalize, this podcast with, just to get to know you a little bit better.
Absolutely.
So if you're ready for this, the first question is, what is your favorite country to vacation in?
Well,
or if it's not a country, if it's a spot.
I would say my wife would love for me to be able to say like Greece or Italy or something like that. But unfortunately, I can't say that because we haven't been. I would like to go there, but especially with small kids, we've been pretty much local. And if I'm going to speak for my daughter, Minnie Mouse's house is the best place of vacation, and the Princess Castle. So, speaking for my daughter, I would say Disney.
Okay,
That's her favorite.
It's the happiest place on earth. So.
Absolutely.
All right, what's your favorite food?
I love food and I love cooking. But I think nothing can really beat a good steak.
Okay. Yeah, I have to agree.
Right. Yeah.
Specific cut that you have?
I'd have that. I really like ribeyes.
Like ribeyes?
Yeah, I'm a ribeye guy. Yeah.
Okay.
Good flavor,
Okay. So do you like grilling or?
I love grilling. Yeah. I like, I'm not a baker, but I love cooking anything. And one of my favorite things on a weekend is when you're cooking something that literally takes all day, just the preparation and the process. And, I must say I'm a Food Network type of junkie who just watching that, getting inspired and wanting to cook a big meal.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
I'm kind of the same, except I'll see something and then I'll tell my wife, look, babe, please make me that.
You do so good at making this.
Yeah, when he said about spending the whole day cooking, I was like, really?
Yeah.
I like that. For some reason, I love the process,
Okay. I don't like the aftermath of the process, but
I can't say I clean because my wife would definitely have other words for me.
All right, what's your favorite hobby?
Growing up, sports was my life. For me, there's nothing better than playing. But these days, playing with my kids and just being with family is truly my number one hobby.
Okay, yeah, it's very important. That's a good one. What is your toughest challenge so far? What has been your toughest challenge in your career?
So every day in business is a challenge. Starting when you start in a new business, like when I first started, I was in sales. Where to start is a huge challenge. But the evolution of my career and where I am today, I would say there's no larger challenge than today's moment. The present times is the most challenging time, and really probably many people's career, because it's forced us to take a step back, reinvent ourselves, take the initiative and basically go all in and change the industry itself. Not to go too far off on this, every single Wednesday, I sit on a national conference call with show production companies from all over the country. Everyone's doing different things, large scale, small scale, but no one's truly taking the initiative to just make sure that their clients and their partners are at the forefront of what they're doing. They're more so focusing on how to better their business, where I've kind of expressed my approach in the sense of, if I focus on our clients and their information and their story, that's ultimately telling our story, because every business has a story. And if we're only focused on telling our story, then we're neglecting what's really important. And the community, whether it's homeowners or if it's industry professionals, by showcasing their story, it's telling exactly who we are and what we stand for. So I would say right now, present time is the most challenging time, because expos don't necessarily exist at this time, and that has been our business. So we are redeveloping and reestablishing what our business is in a different form.
Yeah, that's true. All right. And do you have an end of the year goal and a 5-year goal? So what's your goal for 2020?
So
other than surviving in 2020.
Yeah, I mean, survival comes in a lot of different shapes and forms, but as far as end of the year goal, it's really just showcasing as many businesses as possible. If I can look at the end of the year and feel like I truly provided information for the market, that's our 100% focus. 5-year goal, expanding on our platform and literally being, I like to believe we're the most recognized source of information, but being that go-to first step, one-stop shop, online event, first call, first action for home improvement and design and anything home related.
Okay.
All right. That was great. Adam, thank you so much.
Can I ask you guys?
Sure, of course.
What's your 5-year plan? Where are we going to see Monarch in 5 years?
Our 5-year plan.
I would say all over Florida. I mean, we're already service all over Florida.
Yeah,
we have 2 locations, but
5-year plan is definitely to expand into a few other states,
Awesome.
nearing states. But we'll like you, we take it one day at a time and we focus on the challenge right in front of us at the moment, and try to make the best of everything that we do in the present.
It's awesome.
So, end of the year goal, we have a few, but
Yeah.
those are more internal.
Right, I hear you. Well, I appreciate what you guys are doing for the industry.
well, thank you. Likewise.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
for having us on your live and showcasing our business as well and being on this podcast.
Many more to come.
Yes.
I appreciate it, Adam.
Absolutely.
Really. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We really enjoyed talking to you and learning a little bit more about you and the industry. So thank you for being here with us.
All right. Well, I'm going to close out. You opened up, so I'll close out. Thank you guys for watching us again. We really hope that this is bringing value to you guys, not only insurance knowledge, but just knowledge about different industries that we collaborate with. Please follow us, like, subscribe, and share these videos and posts if you find them helpful. Thank you, and we'll see you soon.